Hello, friends, both old and new. I am John St. Baptiste, and this is the I don't know what to call it anymore, but it's a channel where we discuss music and literature. And I'm glad you could show up here. I'm glad to see you here. I have my amazing friend Clarissa Thompson, who is going to be keeping an eye on the chat. We're doing an A.M.A. today, so please ask me anything. The more uncomfortable the question, the better. Also, I have a really fracking awesome announcement a little bit later about some stuff going on with the channel. And I'm doing some new music stuff too, which I would love to talk about if anybody wants to. I put up a playlist today, all jazz. It's great. And it's for a young lady named Persephone. Follower of my channel is Bear Island Josh. And that's his little cub's name. I think is the only video I've ever made that is appropriate for children. And I also did tell her to hang out with her friends when she's picking flowers, not walk away from them. But I have a very special guest here tonight, and this is Clarissa Thompson.
How's everybody doing tonight? Nice to see a few people in the chat already. I'll be here to keep track of your questions. So if you got a ton of them, just fire them off. It's my job to make sure that he gets to read every last one of them. So nice to see you.
So who do we have here right now?
Looks like we have House of the Conqueror, Alicia Kingston, Lady Starfall, The Fearless Mermaid. We have Peter Griffin, Nancy T. We have Zeta Alpha. We have Lawrence Corner. We have Storm Steel.
Dude, Zeta, everybody out here is amazing. I am not belittling anybody. But Zeta Alpha, if you want some real insight into music, just read the comments that he puts on my videos, because the man knows music so much better than I do, and it just blows my mind. Anyone who has that kind of knowledge is just so impressive to me.
We also have Amy True. Hi, Amy. And we have Bear Island Josh. People are starting to show up. Yay! Nice to see everybody.
Major. So, let's see. First, where the channel's going with music stuff. Just because I'm in a schedule now where I'm working 60 hours a week. I'm trying my damnedest to put up one playlist a week, and that's all I can do with that. But also on Fridays, there are going to be some very cool live streams, which I'm pretty excited about. And I might invite some of you people to come talk to me. We'll talk about what those live streams are about shortly. But Clarissa, how are things in your neck of the woods? I mean, the world's falling apart right now. How are things in, like, the bumfuck of Canada?
Actually, our main industry is tourism, and we are one of the major economic resources in the region.
Are you reading this? Like, are you reading this off of...
No, I was studying tourism before the world started falling apart, so...
All right, even though I keep my apartment at charnel temperature...
For those of you that don't know...
The jacket's coming off.
For those of you who don't know, I live in Nelson, British Columbia, Canada, and yeah, aside from, of course, the whole disease that shall not be named, because I'm not sure what YouTube is doing about stuff like that right now. So I'll just play it safe. Anyway, of course, like everywhere else, we're dealing with that same issue, but we've had luckily very good government and policy, and most people have been pretty good about following it. And we do have a small community. Like we're not an urban community. We're definitely a rural series of towns out here. There's like 10,000 people in my town. So, but
Um,
yeah, I work at
yeah,
home anyway. I am extremely, extremely lucky and grateful that I am. My job is intact because I still work at home
right.
in
You're right.
giving
You're not
care.
worrying
So
about unemployment and all those other things.
yeah, like I
Actually,
didn't have to apply for the Canada Emergency um, benefit. So
you brought up a good point because there's a certain c word that's not supposed to be said on the internet.
mhm.
I can say the other c word, by the way. Cunt, 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 cunt.
Not a monetized channel.
I'm not a monetized channel, but this video could be taken down if I talk about a different c word. And I want suggestions from the chat for a new word we can use for the c word that's going around right now. And by the way, I've found a new friend.
What's this talk of friends? Who's this? I
Hi.
came in on an interesting
Dan, 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 dan,
tangent,
dan.
and I don't know. My worst c word I can think of is cabbage, because
Yeah, I don't care for German food either. It all smells bad and it's very bland.
is cabbage like limited to Germany
Anyone
though,
from
or
Germany,
you're
I
just
am
talking
not.
about like boiled cabbage?
Yeah, boiled cabbage. It's like I mean that's essentially what sauerkraut is. It's just you boil it in beer instead of water.
Well, sounds like a plan to me. Throw some bratwurst in there, right? Isn't that what you do?
So there
Who
was a
knows?
question further up in the comments for John, except my computer is deciding
Oh
to
yeah, I
lag
got the
on me.
question. I didn't I ask it?
Go
Oh
go
yeah,
for it.
um, this is from House of the Conqueror. It's my asshole. Q&A. Does John use herbal essences? I need to know the vibe when he showers. So tell us about it, John.
whoa, okay, it's diving right in really fast. I use a regular bar soap with my loofah. Um, anyone who doesn't have a loofah, I feel very sorry for you because they're great. Um, and then I do put on a jasmine and chamomile and uh, patchouli essence. Very little
Oh
bit
yeah.
because
Is
patchouli, like
chamomile in
everyone
the
knows.
chamomile family? I'm just wondering. Oh, I forgot. John's
I'm
got
You're
me.
glad you let
making
me
fun of
know
my
that, John.
enunciation now.
I'll be sure to take a video antihistamine.
No,
I'm
small
I'm
amounts of
so allergic
patchouli.
to patchouli. I like it's not even a joke. I burst out into a rash right then and there.
Small amounts scent wise are great,
I love the
but it's
smell.
like
My body
tons of
doesn't.
patchouli plus weed plus body odor is like the worst smell on the
You're making me
cracking.
so horny for you right now.
John, if you had any idea where in the world I live and the fact that it was basically colonized by draft dodgers in the late 60s, you'd know that that's pretty much walking into the downtown of the town I live in.
I can't walk into my downtown right now. We have a curfew.
Mm.
because
We have high school students doing a cavalcade in their prom wear that they can't wear to a prom.
I'm literally I would spend 10 minutes talking about what's going on in the world right now, and then I have to let it go. Because that's not what we're here for.
Right.
We're here to have fun and enjoy ourselves, but shit is going on in the world right now. Has anybody out there, or have either of you seen this video? The woman who had her bag taken away when she needed her insulin,
Yeah, I thought.
and that was in Cincinnati. That was right here. Like I'm watching the video. I'm like, I know that building. I know that building. I know that building. Like, you can't displace yourself from this stuff any longer, and that was really disturbing for me.
Well, yeah. Didn't she say her blood sugar was low though?
Yeah,
Because the
she said,
insulin will kill you then, right? Doesn't insulin bring down blood sugar?
no,
I don't know.
It kicks in what you need. Like diabetics
Oh,
are the exact opposite of me. I'm hypoglycemic, so I have to watch my sugar because it can get too high, whereas diabetics have to watch it because it can get too low. Fortunately, I don't have to do that, but they do, and yeah, it was just and it's just like this woman sitting here like, hey, can I just have my bag packed? It's scary shit, man. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Clarissa. What were you saying? My apologies.
I was just saying, yeah, if she needed her insulin, you have to take your insulin in order to process the sugars that are in your blood. If you don't, then your body will go into ketoacidosis, which is not the same as ketosis. It's similar to ketosis, except there's nothing removing the blood sugar from your blood, which is an extremely, extremely, extremely dangerous condition and requires hospitalization and sometimes dialysis. So, anyway, so yes, it was a dangerous situation. I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people have died. It's been. Anyways,
But that just means that we have a responsibility to really understand and take advantage of the blessings that we have in one another and the lives that we have, and take this opportunity, not just to reflect on our well-being and our safety, but how we're going to safeguard the well-being and safety of the people around us. And I think that that's probably the most important thing that's going to come out of this whole situation, is that people are going to have to start to learn how to look out for each other again. And I think that it's important that we all hold each other up, which is why we're all going to sit here and ask you embarrassing questions for the rest of the hour, John.
Yes. Please ask me embarrassing questions.
No, I wanted to talk about politics for 4 hours. Good God, let's get on with this. No, it's more than politics.
Johnny, there's a reason I love you, man.
This is a whole thing. It's so true. Complicated, and
the whole thing.
It's just my heart goes out. That's all I can really say.
This is my other half talking here.
Yeah.
My better half. Johnny's the
we got some more people in the chat.
Nice one here.
Okay. Fearless Mermaid. Did I shout you out earlier, Fearless Mermaid? A Pack Mule. Hey, how's it going, bro?
The mule with the fuel.
So I'm sure you all have burning questions for our dear John St. Baptiste. Let's find some, shall we? This is what I'd like to know. John, what are the criteria you have for when you go shopping for socks?
Oh. You caught me because I am always so I take a lot of pride in how well dressed I am, and uh, no, I buy like dirt cheap socks at fucking Target when I need it. I spend $100 on ties. I am not spending more than $5 on a pair of socks.
Understandable, considering how often one has to replace socks.
You should go to the flea
considering that
market, John. You can
people
get some
see my
really good
ties,
used
they
socks there. Top of the line. A penny a
don't.
sock. They're all mismatched.
So here, just north of Cincinnati, we have this huge flea market. It's only open on the weekends, and I mean, it takes up 4 square acres. We call it the Dirt Mall, but everybody goes there.
You can get like at my flea market, you can get puppies, probably illegal guns. You can get like baby chicks, and you can get a hot dog at the concession stand. It's almost like a carnival.
Skywalker action
It's like a
figure.
bunch of carnies just selling stuff like these sunglasses that you wear them one day and they break. You get a bunch of bootleg DVDs and CDs. It's actually fun to go looking around there because sometimes you can find some cool, like antique type shit. But I sound really redneck right now, so I'm gonna shut up.
That's
No. When I was a teenager, I was one of those weird kids that hung out with the carnies when they came to town. I always had that one girlfriend that was like dating the one hot carny. The one hot carny that everybody dated.
Yeah.
But anyway.
For those of our friends overseas from where my family comes from, carnies are basically pikeys.
Yeah, but
which
they
would be my
travel with
family.
traveling carnivals, right?
Which would be my family. But they grift a little more than they sell stuffed animals to people.
Right. Highly overpriced.
One of my favorite my grandma used to say,
Your brown eye?
my grandma.
Oh, sorry. I'm
gran.
always thinking about assholes. I apologize.
That's okay. No, my grandma used to say, "You don't think that's fair? Well, fair's a place that you take a pretty girl to get an ugly stuffed animal."
Speaking
And if
of
you don't
skills
live
that
over
get
here, you're
you
probably not going to get that joke. But I know that John and Clarissa did.
Well,
Speaking oh, go ahead.
I have snuck in for 2 seconds.
When you did the search for the stuffed animals, when you go to win the stuffed animals at the carnival, did you try the little magnet fishing thing? Because the Fearless Mermaid would like to know, have you got your fishing license yet?
I do have a fishing license because I fish quite a bit, and actually, the apartment complex that I live in has a stocked lake, so I do fish quite often. Anyone here who would like to come stay in a rolled out pallet on my floor of my little studio apartment is more than welcome to come.
Forever and ever and ever.
Is more than welcome to come fishing with me, and you can stay forever and ever and ever.
Come on and play with us.
After a month, you're gonna have to pay some fucking rent, though.
Well, I actually have been trying to get people to join the vampire club. People don't seem to really want to be undead these days. I don't know. Ask John. They really do
I didn't.
sparkle in the sunlight. Um, so,
Yeah, we're not popular anymore.
I spent enough years in the 90s playing Vampire the Masquerade.
I'm a psychic vampire. You were a psychic vampire, weren't you, Clarissa? I see it in your eyes.
No,
You're sucking the life from me right
I
now.
was one of the offshoot clans. I was a daughter of Cacophony,
Okay,
which is an
so
Okay.
offshoot of the Toreador
She's a
Come on,
clan.
fancy ass
conspiracy.
vampire bitch.
That connects to Corona, right? The cook-off. Boom. Awful joke. Take
Okay,
that.
guys, I got a icon here. I'm starting to lose audio, which means my video is being bitchy.
Okay, guys. So I've only popped on for just a little bit.
Am I still here?
yeah,
Can we hear me?
Can you see me?
I can hear
Can we
you.
hear
I can
you,
see.
Lauren? We can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear this
All
gorgeous
right, that's
dulcet
improved.
Falkirk tones.
I've
Okay.
just found that my audio goes out when my phone overheats. So I have to turn off the screen.
Lauren's got to say something.
All right.
I think.
Right. So I only popped on for a little bit because, I felt bad about earlier not being able to host this for you. So my question for you, John, is I know that you like to read tarot cards, but
I
many people here might not. Can you tell us how many decks you've got and when you got interested into tarot and what is it that attracted you to it? And do you still practice?
I have 4 decks. I still read cards if somebody asks me to, but you have to pass silver across the palm. That is part of the entire structure. If you don't pass silver across my palm, anything I say is bullshit.
Exactly. That's the vampire. One of the vampire tests.
It's part of the it's part of the interaction of reading tarot cards. I have 4 decks.
John's old school.
My personal favorite is the Bembo deck, which was reprinted in the early 20th century by U.S. Cards Association. It was originally Italian. I also have a few decks in French, and I have the Rider Waite deck, which I think anybody who is getting into discovering tarot reads. For me personally, I think it's. I don't think it tells you what's going to happen. I am not an absolutist about the future. So I think that what the tarot card, what a tarot reading says is, this is where you were, this is where you are, this is where you're going. Make your fucking decision. You want to keep going there, fine. If you don't, change some shit up.
Totally. They'll never get an absolute defined answer because life has so many branches, so many different avenues, and it's all down to personal choice. What resonates with you will resonate, what doesn't. I mean, every reader reads different. John's very much not an absolutist. Me, I read by feeling and empathy. Yes, I read. I have 2 tarot decks. I have a vampire deck, which some of you have seen, and the very holographic shiny deck, which I've been posting pictures of recently.
Yeah,
I'm,
I saw
I'm
that. It was fucking lovely.
I'm a very feel, sense, empathic, empathy, reason, and just intuition for me. I don't even really need to look at the book half the time. It's just I can feel the cards and I can hear them speaking to me.
Yeah, totally.
Every card has a story.
Agreed.
So sometimes you need to read them that way. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
And its its placement has a story.
Yep.
But it's always, this is where you were, this is where you are, this is where you're going. Do you want to change it or not? I do not believe and Lauren, you and I have had a conversation. I mean, I'm not trying to uh, puff myself up, but I feel like I kind of introduced you to Milton, and that is what Paradise Lost is about. Is about free will. We have free will. Nothing is written in the stars. Nothing is inchangeable or indefinable. We can do things to change the path we are on. It's just, do you choose to change those things, or do you choose to just keep doing what you're doing?
Do you prefer to be just your light self, or do you pander to your shadow, or do you work with both? That's basically what that is. I mean, Carl Jung's a good one to study if you want to understand more about the person, the self, the anima, and the animus. And for me, like, I know I have a lot of shadow work to do recently, and this year, more or less, and I think some of us do as well. But yeah, I only popped on for a little bit to ask a question and just to say, hi, I'm here, I'm still alive, everything's fine, you know, it's all good. I'm going to go back to my wee corner now and be quiet. So you have a good stream,
Thanks
and
for
I will
joining
speak to you all
us.
soon.
Yes, and stay in the chat if you'd like.
I will. I'll be in the
And I
It's
give
chat.
been
you the
I'll
link
be
so
lovely.
you
looking.
can pop in whenever you like.
Cool.
With his gorgeous dulcet
Well,
Falker tones.
John, so what are the difficulties, if any, and the philosophy behind being a, well, does tarot card reading interfere with your religious beliefs at all? How's that tie in? I find that very interesting, and I'd like to
Oh
pick your brain on that. And a
no,
vampire too. You're a conundrum.
that that is actually a great question.
We're all full of contradictions, part of being human and vampiric and
The
witchy.
the verse in the Bible that is used most often when it talks about um, when it talks about anyone who casts fortunes or reads fortunes, the verse that's used in the Bible is to beware of soothsayers, and then there's another verse that says, "Burn the witches among you." Uh, I'm not going to burn anybody, but I can
Well,
think of one
one,
or
you
two
you, you
people.
drown them, or you put rocks on their chest. What's that called? Where they put the board on you and put the rocks over your.
Pressing.
Most witches didn't get burned,
I
but
mean, the Bible really shouldn't be
it
taken
also.
literally like that. I think it's more like a how-to and self-help book rather than like a stringent religious thing.
Well,
And
it's
a
presented
lot
as
of people
historical
took it their
text.
own way, you know. Um, but I just leave the witches out of this, man. We did nothing, nothing. We just wanted to practice with green space and
No,
fucking
no, no. Yeah,
crystals and shit.
I absolutely agree. And as a person of faith, I don't belittle anybody else's beliefs or lack thereof. I I I I, I try not to be offensive because what's the fracking point of that? Like I believe this, you believe that, whatever. It's cool. But no, in answer to Johnny's question, the specific verse you're talking about, I think it's Ezekiel, says, "Beware of soothsayers." But a soothsayer, if you think about it, is not talking about somebody read who reads goat entrails or tarot cards or whatever. It's somebody who lies to you and says what you want to hear. And also beware of, even if you have the most respected uh, oracle, they're going to say what they say. How you interpret it is your own thing. Like you read Greek mythology. Or you read actual like history, and people took things that the Oracle of Delphi told them and still did what they wanted to do. They were like, "Oh yeah, this totally justifies this. This makes it okay." And it's like, no, Oedipus, actually, you're like kind of fucked up. And by the way, you just put your dick in your mom. Just saying.
Well then, on that note, we can segue. Speaking of gods, Malrally was asking any word on the American Gods season 3 release.
Oh, okay. So from what I understand, it was originally supposed to start up next February. I don't know if the whole has anybody come up with a term to use instead of the C word?
The disease that shall not be named, the Voldemort of diseases.
No, you got to do better than that. Like the pussy willow.
Frank.
Pussy
Oh,
willows
Frank.
are actually quite fantabulous.
I like pussy willow. They're actually great. They attract
Oh, the
bugs
Rona.
away from your house.
Yeah, I mean, trying to keep a straight face here.
Why?
I don't know. I don't feel like smiling.
So we're still
tickle
waiting
you.
on that. Speaking of things that are released, A.U. Pack Mule was asking earlier what you thought of different music formats, such as LPs, cassettes, CDs. What are your favorites? Why? Have you got an 8-track player? We
I
want to
do
know.
have an
The people
8-track
want to
player.
know, John.
I
knew you would.
also have 72 player. Which
That's
do either of you know it? Does anybody know even what I'm talking about a 72 player?
like, are you talking about a record player that plays at 72 revolutions a minute?
Yeah, like a vintage record
Is
player.
that
I
what you mean?
actually own one. I'm not blessed enough that I have been able to find one with the actual gramophone on it, but I found one that was just old enough that you can hook it up to a stereo. And that's how I listen to a lot of my jazz. Actually, is because it's older stuff and it's on 72. I would love. Oh my gosh, I would love to have a 72 player with a gramophone, but the price range is just absorbent. I mean, because they're antiques, and I couldn't afford one. I generally, in answer
I
to,
prefer wax cylinders myself.
oh nice, going super old school there.
For
I
sure.
like 2 pieces of horsehair and a stick. It's a beautiful sound.
In answer to AE's question,
A piece of grass between your thumbs.
I like any format. Is someone who absorbs a work, including what the artist did with the cover art and so forth. I love an LP. I mean, I bloody well love an LP. On the other hand,
You get the
as
best cover on the LP for sure.
yeah, but on the other hand, as someone who has been involved with electronic music as long as I have, CD's my favorite format for the sound. I don't. I mean, I put up all these mixes all the time that are digital, but that is definitely not my favorite format. If I could send you all a record, I would, but God only gave me
Nobody's
so
got a
much.
record player anymore, John. I think that went away like 50 years ago. I could be mistaken.
Well, I
No,
have
it is
two.
really cool. It's good. It's kind of awesome to listen to, just music off of that. It just kind of takes you back, gives you that feeling of nostalgia. John has a a good memory. He hit his head on the record player when he was young, and he was bleeding out, and that's why Mr. Cullen had to save him and turn him into a vampire. So it always comes back to Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Okay, this is an AMA, but we don't have many questions out in the chat right now. So I have to ask you, what is your favorite vampire film? Because you brought up
Money or
Nosferatu,
me?
which is everybody in the chat.
Oh, everyone in the audience, everybody out there in chat land.
Like, what is your favorite vampire film? What do you think is the best vampire film that was ever made? Because honestly, vampires aren't my favorite boogaboo. I like werewolves a lot more. They're a lot more interesting. Most vampires, and maybe I'm a little biased, but sit around and whine about having to live forever.
Whoa! Did you guys get that?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, my audio just my speakers just went crazy.
Are you okay?
It's okay, Clarissa.
Yeah, I'm all good. As long
No big deal.
as you can hear me, it didn't blow my head apart or anything. So
Just pull my finger to fix it.
that's always good.
That's what
I pulled your finger once. I'm not falling for that trick again.
I'm with me on this one. She says the Lost Boys, and I got to say, I'm a Kiefer Sutherland kind of gal. I'm with her 100%. Yo,
Nothing beats a vampire with a mullet.
Well, I mean, or Jack Bauer.
That and on the other side of the spectrum,
that young vampire grew up to be a Jack Bauer. Does anybody know that Jack Bauer's a fucking vampire? See, this is something nobody's ever talked about. We might can unravel the mystery tonight. John would know. I mean, he's in the inner circle.
Start somebody off watching 24 and tell them that secretly later in the series they find out it's all the vampires from the Lost Boys.
Or it's in the cat
see
the
if
whole
people
time.
believe it all the way through the series.
One of my
so
favorites
mean.
was
Things I would never do to people.
It was a roast for oh gosh, I can't even remember. It was a roast for Dave Kelly, and Kiefer Sutherland was one of the guests. But the roasters, like, of course, Limp and Eddie was there, and she's like, Kiefer Sutherland, hey, yeah, get all those Emmys you want. You're still a vampire with a fucking mullet. Which
Mullets are hot.
He was the hottest mullet vampire ever.
Makes me laugh my ass off.
And I might add a Canadian. What?
Well, you're a Canadian. You like mullets. I mean, don't they kick you out of the country at 18 if you don't like a mullet? Like, if you don't like a mullet,
in
hockey,
Canada?
Yeah. Don't they? Are they like, oh yeah?
No, see the mullet facilitates long hair on hockey players. That's why it's also known as hockey hair.
Right.
So mullets definitely were keep you in Canada kind of thing.
It's also the only haircut that works with a Canadian tuxedo. So you have to remember that.
Is everyone out there familiar with what a Canadian tuxedo is?
Google it. You'll wish you did. It's the best thing you've ever seen in your life.
Canadian tuxedo.
You think it's redneck in the South? Just go to Canada.
So a Canadian tuxedo is blue jeans.
It's also known Urban Dictionary.
It's
also known in the Urban Dictionary as the Salmo dinner jacket. No, it's a Mac jacket.
What is it? What is it?
Call it a Salmo dinner jacket.
It's blue jeans, denim jacket, and like a Queen's Rag t-shirt. They're from fucking Canada, okay?
No, dude. Rush.
It's a Rush t-shirt.
This is Canada, dude. It's a t-shirt.
I'm totally. I got nothing.
Okay. And on that note, I don't know what I did to my computer, but it hates me today. It's just like, I'm just gonna scroll. No, not that far. All right. Oh,
Shout
I
out
see
to
old
Denny the cock
stones
back
is
there.
here.
Denny the cock. Always on my shoulder, giving me bad advice.
Danny the cock?
Denny.
Oh,
Denny.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
We have a few new
So-
people who joined. Welcome. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't call this out. AU Pack Mule. We have Suntavia Major, Lady Starfall. Thank you so much for coming by today. The announcements.
All right. The Fayfire. You're in Washington State. I'm like 3 hours from Spokane, Fayfire.
Fayfire, welcome. I've not seen you before. Thank you for coming by.
That's just fake Aria. Shh. So I got a good question for you, John. It's a multi-layered question, and I think it'll take you a while to suss it out. And it's like giving a cat a ball of yarn. So here we go. TV series, favorite character of all time. Also do that with the movies and or film, and then I guess literary. So yeah, those three categories.
Okay, so my favorite telly character, my favorite film character, and my favorite literature character. Telly is an easy one. I think you know it. It's right fucking here.
Teletubbies.
It's right here. Starbuck.
Oh, I thought it was your arm. I thought your arm made a cameo in some episode in the past, and I was like,
It actually
"He's got a
did.
famous arm."
They had my arm in an episode of Battlestar Galactica.
It was on a
Any of
woman.
us that, anyone that follows us on Cylon Johns will know.
Yeah, I telly character definitely Starbuck. Movie character favorite of all time.
Seems like an easy question, doesn't it?
No, it's a very hard question. Can I give you two? May I give you two?
Oh, you can give me whatever you want, baby.
For me, it would be a toss-up between the portrayal of George Young in Blow and Anakin Skywalker. And the portrayal brilliant, but it diverts a bit from what really happened and things like that. And George Young, if you ever get the chance, read his book. It's great, but it's very. I mean, it's a biased perspective because it's a self-published work. Literature. Oh, heaven's sake. Shadow.
Context.
From American Gods.
Oh, okay. See,
Mm-hmm,
haven't read that yet. Need to read it.
If I have to pick a favorite, if I have to pick a favorite literary character, it would be Shadow. My second would be Arya Stark. My third would be Richard III.
Pun intended.
You
No,
saw what I did there.
it's nice and solid, man. You know, I'm gonna save mine for one day. Maybe you can do this for me on my channel because I have at least two people watching over there. Santivia Major has a question.
Oh, I'll do
Thank you,
anything
John.
that somebody wants to watch on your channel. Wait, did I
Um,
just say shit?
well, we just need to make an OnlyFans account. John, Santivia Major, if you could see anyone in concert, living or dead, who would it be? And why?
I am
And what kind of drug would you be on? I'm adding stuff. I'm sorry.
okay. I am very blessed in the fact that I have seen almost every artist that time wise I was capable of seeing uh, before they died or quit making music or whatever. Um, any artist, if I could see Zepp, dude, if I could see Led Zeppelin, like the real Led Zeppelin back in the day, I'd be on that like a fly on shit. If I could see Dizzy Gillespie live, I'd be on that like a fly on shit. I have, there are quite a few. Mozart, there you go. My first love. If I have only one to pick, if I can pick one artist out of history who is no longer performing, and I could see their work live, it would be Mozart.
That's highbrow, John. And just for your Led Zeppelin, and give a shout out to the Lemon Song. Throwing that at you.
So I have a question
Yeah.
related to that. More specifically with Mozart, would you be more interested in seeing one of his purely orchestral performances, or would you prefer to see one of his operas?
Why are you even asking this? You know it's the opera.
Inquiring
Uh,
minds want to
I mean,
know, and I'm here to be a host.
no.
So-
I agree and I understand and I thank you, but
I'm here to lead the questions.
opera is my passion. I love opera. It honestly, this entire what was it? What was the code word we came up with? Did we
Nope.
come
The
up with
what?
a code word for
I
what's
don't
going
know.
on right now? Because you can't say it on YouTube.
Frank came
Yeah,
to town.
because Frank's coming to town. The entire opera season was shut down this year. I get season tickets every year, and one of my greatest pleasures is that I actually take that ticket and I
And you
get with
rip it up in
friends.
front of a homeless kid's face. Yep, every year. You're like, bet you wish you could go to this. Ha ha.
No,
Yeah.
Right.
that was funny, but all jokes aside, like I would totally give that homeless kid a ticket. Like, but I always get a second ticket. Like, and anyone who follows my channel and you two are both very good friends of mine. I mean, I don't date. I don't buy a second ticket for like a significant other or something like that. I
I saw you on Tinder, John. Don't lie. I'm just kidding.
and so I'll always take a friend. I'm like, have you ever been to the opera? No. Here you go. Come with me. We'll go sit there. We'll drink cheap wine out of plastic cups for $10.
But I'd rather have a hot meal, sir. You make them go to the opera and it's just on an empty stomach. I'm sorry.
As long as we're not going to La Boheme, I'd go to the opera with you. Only because, like, just about every time that somebody's taken me to the opera, it's always been La Boheme, and I love it. But I've seen it like 10 times, and I like to see something else.
I've seen Die Flute 13 times, but I am
Say
passionate.
that 13 times.
I'm passionately in love with that piece of work, uh, which gets back to Mozart. So yeah, the answer to that question is if I could see any artist ever, it would be Mozart. Especially like his last year when he was syphilitic and insane and wrote all of his best shit. Which is
that's
kind of
Nice.
fucked up.
it's bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really, really messed up. But for me personally, as a fan of his work, he wrote his best stuff when he was like declining into insanity. Das Vele Flute, Don Giovanni, his Requiem. Oh my gosh, you're with friends of mine. I want that shit played at my fucking funeral. That was morbid.
No promises. I can only do so much with my kazoo, bro.
Just bring a tape player.
Sorry. That was the like worst kazoo impression ever. It's closer to Scooby Doo for crying out loud. Roll. So
Have
let's see here.
y'all? Does anybody got questions they want to ask John, or do you want to watch him shave his back hair for $50? Let me know. I'm gonna send you my PayPal. I promise to give the money to John, but we'll get him doing something weird in just a few minutes. Hold tight for commercial break.
You've seen Get Ready With Me? Well, prefer now we can.
I'm coming
ready.
to you from the dead zone. It's completely dark, blacked out. I can't see my head in front of my face. I'm talking about you, Clarissa.
I know.
My
I
question.
know. I'm sorry. If I want to hear what you guys have to say, I occasionally have to turn my camera off.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I'm just making
My
fun.
question for the two of you is there a movie so bad that you would tell everybody not to watch it?
Night of the Strangler. Night of the Strangler was a 1970s horror movie in which like 8 people were murdered and none of them were strangled to death, and it stars Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. It's awful. Yeah, so don't watch that movie. You'll never get
I gotta
that
look
time
up the
back.
movie real quick because I can't remember the name of it. Hold on.
Night of the Strangler.
Like the worst movie you've ever seen. Like
Oh.
so bad that you would not even Mystery Science Theater that shit.
No, that's the one. It's just not even funny how bad it is.
Okay.
It's like boring bad. Boring and terrible and not at all named. I think there's like somebody's electrocuted in a bathtub, another person's like shot, and another person falls to their like not a single person is strangled to death, and that's called Night of the Strangler. Nobody gets strangled. That's right, Chris Evil.
Okay, so
nobody.
Unsolicited statement here. Night of the Strangler reminds me, I would pay so much money for a tie that Michael Hutchins owned. Just so I could tell the story. Does anybody get that? Does anybody get that?
I'm just gonna give you a deadpan right now. Hold on, John.
I was just gonna say, do you have a noise machine, Johnny, that has crickets on it?
Okay, so as the tumbleweed flows behind me, I'm gonna go with what year is this? 1989 was Jean-Claude Van Damme called Cyborg. It's the worst. It is the worst.
It's awful.
I don't know if y'all remember that, but it is so bad. You can't even call it acting. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to even describe it. You have to watch it. It's so bad. And you probably won't get through about 10 minutes of it and you're like, fuck this. Like it's I am an cyborg. John Claude, he comes out of nowhere and saves them in a dusty alley. Looks like that I made this set in my backyard, but I didn't make it. I supervised it while I let a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old make it. That's basically what there's just it makes my head hurt thinking about how bad it is. I should I wish I could
Cyborg
show a
is
picture
pretty
or
fucking
something.
bad.
It's really bad. It got a
Like
5.1 out of 10 on IMDb. That's
even
ridiculous. Somebody
even
up jumped that one.
stoned, I couldn't watch that.
No,
Like last night,
no.
I got stoned as fuck and watched Red Sonja, and that was awesome.
Red Sonja. Yeah, I saw
Fucking
that you were going to
ginger,
watch that.
okay?
It's a
I'm like,
great movie.
oh, hot ginger chick who can kick the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'm genetically bred to find you attractive.
Just remember that woman went on to date Flava Flav for way too long and called him Foofy Foofy.
How can you date Flava Flav for way too long?
She did.
He is Flava Flav.
Oh, to her, he's Foofy Foofy.
Did he ever hit her?
No, he was
If
just
he would have,
he's just Flava
I just got
Flav
caught
being
myself
Flava
from an awful
Flav.
joke.
Like, dude, it's Flava Flav. I mean, we're talking about.
I'm not saying he's not talented. I think
There's
that
at
he's
least been a clock
insanely
accident or two.
talented. He wouldn't be the star that he is without the talent that he was, and the rap industry wouldn't be where it is today without the influence of him and his
Yeah, like the first hype
gang,
man.
his folks, his like all the people that were in the industry with him at the same time. Like they were all right in that.
Do we really need hype men though?
What?
He was the first hype man, basically. He just got everybody
Yeah,
ready for the songs. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
boy, you know what time it is.
I can
I'm
see where
just saying.
Yeah, he had to keep on schedule. He had to have the clock there so he know when to say, yeah, boy.
He had a reality show where he dated
Put
all
your
these
hands
women,
together.
and then had his ex had her on the show with him to help him pick his next girlfriend. I don't know.
Look, I love the
dude,
reality show,
really?
Flavor of Love. Come on.
Well, that's it, right?
That
She was
was
on the show.
oh, that was a dumpster fire of a TV that I couldn't stop watching for some reason. I was probably at the right age group to wonder what the fuck's going on here. It
That's
teaches
true.
you all
Sound
the
to be
wrong
a
things.
major.
It's that you can have any woman for the right price, but not really anyone. But that's what it taught you. Like you could tell not one of them was there for him. They were all about the money, but
Oh, for sure they were. Of course they were.
Oh, absolutely.
They're
And by
not
the
like,
way,
oh, I'm gonna
I
go
brought
on
this
a
up to
famous.
Johnny, and if anyone else is interested, I would really love to start a private channel where we just get fucked up and watch cops.
how much you paying me?
Yeah, awesome. But it would have to be private because, like seriously, you put up anything with footage from cops, they take it down like right away. So it'd have to be like a private stream. If anyone's interested in that, let me know. Getting fucked up and watching cops.
Well, you started your argument or your request off with the word privates, so I'm gonna have to pass for now until we can find a good. No, I'm just kidding.
Lady Starfall was saying that the worst horror movie that she ever saw was one where farmers kidnapped people and fed them like pigs and then made bacon and stuff from them. Ooh, that's terrible. I mean, that sounds a lot like a horrible thing that actually happened here in Canada in the 1990s.
Yeah, Canada's
where a
toast.
pig farmer was killing prostitutes and feeding them to his pigs.
Anybody got?
Yeah,
it's one of the best ways to get rid of a body.
That sounds awful.
Makes the meat taste really good too.
Cut their hair and yank out their teeth, and feeding somebody to a pig is the best way to get rid of a body.
Well,
I don't know this
mean,
personally. I've just been told this.
I mean,
Allegedly.
they didn't cover it on the miniseries of Gentleman Jack or anything like that. If anybody watched the BBC's miniseries of Gentleman Jack, the life of Anne, can't think of her last name, in Halifax, Yorkshire. She was a historical figure who was very interesting. But anyway, one of the subplots is a guy killing someone and feeding him to the pigs. So they didn't have DNA technology back in those days. So
Well, the movie Snatch. I can't remember the
Brickhead.
actor's name.
oh,
Yeah, that's
Snatch.
it.
Oh, you
That's,
get yourself a little piggy.
That guy right there scares me. Like, he couldn't physically dominate me. That guy scares me. He could just
Oh,
have
yeah.
other people or pigs physically dominate me.
Oh,
Hey.
A.U. Packmeal has a question for me. He asked me what my favorite A Song of Ice and Fire character is. I really, really, I have to say I'm a Sansa kind of girl. I just love Sansa. I've always loved Sansa. Since the first episode, I was like, that little mouthpiece is going to have an interesting story arc. And yeah. And
Lots of
she
people
does.
agree with you, and lots of people hate you for that statement.
Oh,
right?
I know a lot of people don't like Sansa, and nobody has to like everybody. I just like her story.
I'll come back at
everybody-
you with this, and this might be already answered. Lady Starfall asked me a question twice, a couple times, a long time ago, and I've been a negligent asshole, so I apologize, lady. What character would you like to be from A Song of Ice and Fire? And you're going to think I didn't think about this, but I did.
Who would you like to be?
I am.
Not who do you like who would you like to be?
Yeah.
Shape. Oh, that's tough. Johnny, go. Please go.
Oh, yeah, the Hound. I like chicken. And
Tons of
he
smart
seems to
advice,
have,
so
he
your
seems
answer-
to have one of the more exciting lives, even though it's filled with tragedy. And get behind that. I've went through some shit. It only makes you stronger, or makes you worse off. Who knows? But I don't know. I want a few fucking chickens. Okay, that's all I know.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't hate my brother though, but that could change at any point in time. He is like the size of Gregor, so
I don't like my brother, but I wouldn't kill him. I just kind of ignore him.
So who would you want to be, John? Melisandre? That's who you're dressed up like tonight.
If I could be any one Game of Thrones character, who would I be?
Who would you be?
Loras. In the books, not in the show, I would be Loras Tyrell.
Loris, how are you doing recovering on your deathbed, by the way? Can you let me know? Because George isn't going to let us know for a while.
Or Euron, just because I can pull out the fucking badass card anywhere I go.
Yeah. Takes I don't know, what is badass about Euron? Oh yeah.
Everything.
Women pregnant and then sacrifice them.
I'm talking real Euron. I'm not talking show Euron.
Oh, I'm not. I'm talking about show Euron.
Show Euron was a fucking a really bad Jack Sparrow.
Who do you want to be? I want to be the guy that murdered his whole family.
I feel so bad for the actor.
He's a stand-up guy because they were douchebags.
I feel so bad for the actor because he got put in that part, and I'm wondering, if he gets typecast into that kind of part from there on out. that
He's a character actor that always plays a generic bad guy anyway. Or he did before that. Like, well, I can't remember what he was in, but he's in a lot of stuff as the, one of the not the lower, mid-tier bad guys.
I am myself a mid-tier bad guy.
Speaking of bad guys
Going with
or
show
good
you're
guys,
on then.
Fearless Mermaid asked, "What is your favorite character in the Star Wars universe?"
Oh, is you
Do
okay?
not say Jar Jar Binks.
What was that, John?
Uh, 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 who asked? I'm sorry. Who asked the question?
Fearless Mermaid asks, "What is your favorite character in the
Fearless
Star
Mermaid
Wars universe?"
is extended universe okay? I'm wondering because I can give one answer. I can give another answer. Uh, extended universe. My favorite character by far is Jana Solo. She. You look up badass in the Oxford English Dictionary, and it has a fucking picture of her there. In canon universe, I would say probably my favorite character is Anakin Skywalker, just because he is so complicated, and I think that the telling of his story is so cool. A lot of people hated the prequels, and then they learned to like them. I mean, especially with the Clone Wars. And you watch this person grow from an idealistic little slave boy into a jaded military officer who always, from point A to point B, has this horrible person speaking in his ear. And I think the character of Anakin is so. I mean, that's what the entire series is about. It's Anakin's story. It's.
Well, I'm sorry, I do got to make a joke because what everybody says on the internet is he quit Jedi training right before they were about to teach the high ground lessons. Oh, it's too good. It's too good.
No, that's fucking brilliant. That's kill your darlings. But yeah, I do love Anakin Skywalker, and if I can go non-canon, I'm all about some Jaina Solo.
All right.
How about you two?
For me, Leia, hands down. Leia has always been and will always be my favorite. Since I was 4 years old at the drive-in seeing Star Wars for the first time. Leia.
All right, Greedo. Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Han Solo. It's uncalled for. Unnecessary violence. long, long live Greedo.
So, did Han shoot first, or did Greedo? That's the real question.
Oh, well, I think Han shot first because Greedo has just been wrong. His name's been ran through the dirt for years. His family back at home doesn't even get the insurance stipend because there was a cop out. They're like, Greedo was at fault. I'm like, no, he wasn't. And then George Lucas keeps fucking with everything. So nobody knows what happened. But I know in my heart that Han shot first. Okay.
Just for the record, I am in BC. It's 4:20 and I'm foregoing because I'm on the air.
Well, you know what?
Thought I would
That's a
let
good
you know
point.
what I'd do for you.
I'll be right back.
Hey, it's not 420 where you live. It's always
Depends what
420.
clock
What
I'm
am I
looking at.
saying? It's true. You just put it on my time zone is all.
So, does anybody else have any burning, pressing questions?
I am looking through.
And by the way, once again, Clarissa, thank you so much for helping me out with this. Just like having somebody monitor the chat and talk to people and keep an eye on things. Like serious, ask me anything. First, I'm going to get the men's room.
What age did you hit
Ask
puberty?
me
Don't answer that.
anything.
I'm just giving you an example of it can go too far, John. It can go.
Do you know why it's called the men's room in my apartment? Because
What is the circumference
I
of
don't
your
think
rectum?
a girl's ever been over here. Like even friend girls. Like
you call it the men's room because calling it the John would be too confusing.
John J. Crapper was good at porta
Department
potties.
of Redundancy Department.
That's the real man's name too, John J. Crapper. You can look it up.
Ooh.
Or as Eddie Bravo says, look into it.
He invented the flushing toilet.
While you're in there, think about Amy's question. Will you ever have a mustache comeback?
Will I ever have the mustache come back? Oh my gosh. Okay.
We'll let him stew on that one, folks.
I gotta think about that for a minute. Will I ever have the mustache come back?
On the next episode of...
Oh, sorry. I'm sitting here just messaging people in the chat.
No
and
problem.
Not talking. We got to cover up the sound of John's urination. And he does fart. You know, the farts push the pee out. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this, but this is just a it's a common physics question. Does the fart push? I don't know what I'm talking about.
I gotta plug in the power.
Oh yeah, you're going down, and I'm just talking about poopy farts and butter beans. Do y'all know that butter beans don't have butter on them? They're just called butter beans. I don't know why. I think they taste buttery. No,
Thanks for coming, AU. Nice to see you.
Is anybody really interested in whether I have a mustache or not?
Night, AU. John, speak when you're spoken to, please. So John's mustache.
Yes,
y'all
sir.
want to have him grow a face vag? Because I'm down for it. I don't know. I'm being so weird right now. Hey, John.
I like
how you doing? Is that some bathtub gin been making during the lockdown?
That's Freud.
You need some juniper? You want me to send you some juniper, bro?
Do you know what would happen to the Scottish economy if I quit drinking?
Tell us, John. This is your Ask Me Anything.
It would collapse. If I quit drinking, the Scottish economy would collapse.
You're giving yourself a lot of credit, and good job, Clarissa, on the very awkward silent moment and pause after that. That's what good friends do. They they keep it real, okay? John.
Yes.
I guess those countries over there thank you, or country or whatever, whoever you're providing for. I'm sure that they don't want to know who is the father of all. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Johnny, did you see Lady Starfall's comments?
Which one?
Was asking if there would be a new season of
Ragnarok.
Really quick, popping out. AU, goodbye. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by. You were an amazing man.
See, bro.
And I love you.
I love you too.
No queer.
There will be a season 2 of Ragnarok. It's supposed to come out at the beginning of next year, but as Frank would put it, it's hard out here for a guy. And okay, that was enough silence. Uh, no, there will be a season 2 though, but it might get put off. But I'm hoping it doesn't because it's a
I'm
pretty
actually.
awesome and fun show.
I hope it doesn't either. I've been pulling that up. You gave me a link where I could find it. Which
I didn't
we
give you
won't
anything. You're not supposed to talk about stuff like that. Oh, keep going.
which we won't talk about here. Some man anonymously gave me a link where I could find that show, and it's quite a good show.
It's
And
amazing
your
that Pornhub has shows on it. It's pretty cool.
recommendation was highly appreciated.
So my hour and a half availability is almost up, you guys. I gotta hit the kitchen, make dinner. But yeah, was there anything else anyone wants me to ask for John, perhaps in funny voices or
Funny voices.
anyone?
Do you got any funny
Bueller?
voices on check?
Santa Via Major says, did you read the Battlestar Galactica novel? What did you think of the original TV series Baltar? Are you talking about the 1970s original
I'd
Baltar?
say
Yeah.
it was toasty.
That would be the 78
Because
series.
he was a mover and a shaker, and he wore a lot of sparkly stuff.
He also
was very.
jumped and jived.
What I love that they did with the Battlestar reboot is they made it gritty and dirty. Like the original Battlestar was so clean, and I'm not talking about the language or anything like that. Like I'm talking about the
The aesthetic.
The aesthetic. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
And
Starbuck
it's
was the literal embodiment of the reboot, right? You know, never taking showers. And she like brushed her teeth on the toilet. It was weird, man. You got to go back and watch that.
I
She wishes she had patchouli oil. I wish she had patchouli oil. Everybody on this ship wishes she had patchouli oil at this point.
And just like, take a freaking shower, Stinky Starbuck. Where's Mackenzie when you need her for saying Stinky Starbuck?
yeah, but
All right.
I like I like reboot Starbuck, and it's no disparagement towards who is the actor who played Starbuck in the original.
Hannah Montana? Is that right?
No,
No.
it's Canadian.
I know it was a dude as well. But
Hannah Montana's not
Hannah
Canadian.
Montana just sounded right. It sounds like it fits in the Battlestar Galactica universe. Who's the final Cylon? Hannah Montana.
I'll think of it.
Hey y'all.
I know his name.
I'm gonna sing y'all a song.
Dirk Benedict.
Thank
Dirk
you, Dirk Benedict.
It's no disparagement to Dirk Benedict, but I think Katie Sackhoff's Starbuck was just 10 times as badass.
Thank you, Santa Via Major. Yes. Thank you. I would agree with that. But on the note of my favorite BSG goodness, I gotta say, so long, everybody. But
If I
I
may
hope everybody
ask,
stay safe.
before you
Yes.
pop out, Clarissa,
Yes.
we're mostly through the entire show.
Mhm.
Who is your favorite character in Battlestar?
Don't worry,
Captain
take your time.
Adama.
I know you've got all night. I love you, John.
I'm the Adama Mama.
Yes.
Yeah, Adama.
I knew this. I knew this.
Why do you think Adama had that first heart attack? Laid his eyes on Clarissa, see?
Yeah,
story
no, from
to
the
be
first time I
told.
saw him in that boxing ring with no sleeves on, I was just like, oh yeah, absolutely, abso-frackin-lutely. All right.
Punch me in the face
Abso-frackin-lutely.
anytime.
Clarissa, thank you for popping in here, and it means so very much to me. Announcement will be made here shortly. You already know what it is, but thank you for stopping by.
I do, and good luck, and I hope everybody's really excited with your news. So have a great
Yeah,
night, everybody. You take care. Take care of each
Night,
other.
night,
Okay?
Clarissa.
take care of
Remember,
yourself.
everybody get head rubbers.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Everybody have fun tonight.
Okay, let's so John, does anyone here watch Project Blue Book? Lady Starfall, I've been wanting to catch that, but I don't have like history on demand and I never can catch it when it comes on, and I can't seem to catch it when it's marathoning, so I can start it from the first episode, but I really want to. My man Peter Baelish is playing J. Allen Hynek, and that's a good story to be told. You know, Project Blue Book was an official government funded research into UFOs, and to be honest, they were trying to disprove everything about them. J. Allen Hynek started off a skeptic, became a believer by the end, even though there were no more than a handful of cases he couldn't explain. You know, that was a handful of cases he couldn't explain by science, so that's still a big deal. Yeah, I want to check it out for sure. I don't know. I get into that weird shit.
I read it. I actually have a copy of it, but I have not watched the show. But I do have a copy of the Blue Book. You can buy it off of Amazon or whatever at your bookstore, and I have a copy. Um, Half of it is blacked out. That disturbs me. I'm not going to go into all the reasons that disturbs me because I
Why they
try
gotta
and
black
keep
it
my
out?
channel non-political, but like
Well,
half of the fucking book is like somebody took a Sharpie and
redacted.
chalk this out, chalk this out, chalk this out. Oh, please feed my fucking paranoia because, like, I literally am supposed to be taking medication for it, and I
I
don't.
don't know if there's. I mean, I guess I understand your paranoia. It's kind of freaky. They should be redacting names, but when you start getting whole half pages redacted and you're just reading bits and pieces, it's hard. It's hard to. It's hard to get the full picture. You can get enough of a picture to get your mind going. That's
Yeah,
the intriguing thing about it. Could they have did that on purpose as well? Who the hell knows? Like on purpose as to where just make all that shit they took out of there was boring, and then they just made you think it was something more important.
see, now what I would
I
do
don't know
is
what people do.
set it up and publish that with all the redacted stuff crossed out, knowing that I'm going to make money off of it, and then knowing that I'm going to make money off of the people who are wondering what's going on.
Yeah, somebody's making money. You always gotta follow the money to get to the root of why things happen. Now, does that mean people don't try to do good and make money at the same time? No, but it is pretty rare.
Right.
But the thing I would say is people want to. Now it's like culture and society, they've been grooming us for alien contact or something. It's then become so much a part of our culture that people wouldn't even be that surprised if the Martians from Mars Attack shows up. Big up. Okay, but it's not out of the realm of possibility we've been visited, but they got to be just watching like we would watch wild animals. That's what I think. Even if they are here, they don't have to be.
So you're a
I don't give a
proponent
But
of the zoo philosophy? The reason we haven't
yeah,
been
I could get
contacted
down with
is
that. Well, I'm not set on anything. I try to be malleable, and this is something that you know. If you do the statistics, if you do the math, it's impossible for there not to be another intelligent race out there. And
right.
I use intelligent loosely because we're not really that intelligent. We aren't even. I don't even think we're level one on the universal civilization scale. And there's 3 levels. We can't interstellar travel or anything. Anyways, don't quote me on all that. I'm just rambling here. I didn't.
No, I know what you're talking about. Born, I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Or no, it wasn't. It was Arthur C. Clarke, I believe, who came up with the different levels of uh, societal evolution. And yeah, we aren't even level one.
No.
Like,
It's
dude, we made
interesting
it to the
stuff.
moon. That is awesome. That is awesome. And then what did we do? We stopped. We stopped after that. We stopped like doing big shit after that.
Well, you got to
It was
get
like,
past combustion as propulsion, or at least in that manner, for us to even evolve anymore. We got to come up with a different mode of energy for travel like that, which I guess they're working on. I mean, if they did find a flying saucer and they re-engineered it, we're not seeing what they got. Um, I could be wrong. Don't they say that? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want to say it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Well, they say that intelligence and the black ops was like how many years they said. I don't know why 50 years ahead of what we see out in the public, but it might not be 50 years. Regardless, they could have technology that they don't want people privy to, like the spy planes. People see a lot of flying triangles, which I think that's the government. My own parents saw a flying triangle, and my mom, I don't know, she's one of the most logical people I know. She don't take no bullshit. She wouldn't say something like that lightly, which I find
No, I met
intriguing.
she's like the exact opposite of me, which I love her for. I met your mom. She's a terribly charming woman, but yeah, she's very logical and rational. And for a lawful neutral Slytherin, I am not very logical or rational.
No, I mean we're still a very, very emotionally driven species. We use logic up to a certain point. You can see it everywhere, all the time. When emotions come into play, you're not thinking clearly. That goes for everybody. That goes for me. When you let your emotions overtake you, you're not going to make logical decisions. You're going to make decisions based off feelings, love, anger, hate, all
Right.
in the same category as far as I'm concerned. Now, what makes us human, right? Is it these emotions? Is it our perceived consciousness, our self-awareness, the relationships we have with people? What would it be like to be in a volcanistic like society? Could there be, if you don't feel emotions, you don't so much, you don't necessarily have as much happiness and fulfillment out of life as well. I feel like I don't know. That's a complicated thing. Would we okay to evolve more? This is what I'm getting to. To evolve more, would we have to tamper our emotions more and become more logical? And at what point do we cross that line to where we're more robotic than human? Right? Oh, that's weird.
No, it's fucking brilliant. I mean, that's why we talk about Cylons, is because it's that whole point that if you take a robot and give it humanity, when does it become human? And once it's becoming human, it makes all the horrible decisions that we make as humans. And it's no longer an it, it's a he or a she. I mean,
Right.
that's what always has moved me about that series. It is that concept that once you have emotions, you can no longer be a just like logical machine. You know, it with their later stuff, I think the Wachowski sisters messed some things up with the Matrix, but like the point is still there.
Fourth Matrix coming out.
Like you know, when is there a line? Not not when is that line crossed? Is there a line between being human and being a robot? Because once robots have like thought and free will and creative energy, they're
Who?
people. They're people just like us, and you can't take that away. What
Well, who are
terrifies me
we?
if they never get that. What terrifies me is if they never get that, and they just logically look at things. They're like, "Oh, hey, you know, oh well, you know, there's John. He's like fucking drunk sometimes."
Like
Boom.
more paganistic cultures and history, Druids, Native Americans, stuff like that. It thought that everything, in a sense, had spirit, and the more we learn about nature here recently, I'm sure everybody's seen this, where plants, they don't have brains, but they actually communicate with each other through the mycelium mat, which is fungus, which we can get into mushrooms a whole another day. Mushrooms are just aliens. Um, I know that's an inflammatory statement, but I can explain it in context. And they will communicate back and forth with one another, giving a whole new meaning to a living forest. Um, and it seems to be connected like that all throughout out the world. It makes me think about the weirwoods and shit like that. But it seems that, maybe we're a little vain as a species, as beings, as things in this universe, to because consciousness is hard to measure, right? We can measure intelligence based off what our perception of intelligence is, what we think is intelligence. But that doesn't necessarily mean something else isn't intelligent, that we can't see it. Just like we do, most people have throughout history. It's a self-preservation thing. You don't want to get emotional about everything you see. You don't want to, every time you kill a bug, feel bad about it, even though I do. But you want to make things dehumanized. We're in a society now where we can actually step back and try to humanize things, so to speak, and see them in a different light. But
But what we're
back
doing
in
is
the day,
dehumanizing human beings, and that's
yeah.
absolutely terrifying.
Well, that's been rampant throughout history, though. You if you're competing, it goes back way back. You're competing. You're not gonna have that kill or be killed mentality, and I guess that's something we're trying to get out of. Um, you know, people need more knowledge, more information, more time to self-reflect in the right ways. People need to get back to gardening, get back to doing shit in the open world. We are not meant for boxes. And I say that as a hypocrite that sits in a box all day. But I do have some flowers and a garden, and get me some pepper plants and shit like that. And just trying to be out there and enjoy it and feel it and soak it up, because we
And you're
are
coming
a
up here to
part
go
of,
fishing with me too.
I guess, John. I'm gonna try. Hopefully
We'll
one
meet
day soon.
halfway, like somewhere in the middle of
Um,
Tennessee. We'll find a lake.
we'll see. We'll find out how many stocked ponds are between me and you. um, Damn it, you threw me off. What was I saying? Oh, okay.
Sorry,
So yeah,
I
yeah, we have become detached from the thing that we were a part of from so long, from what we came from, which is the chaos, glory, beauty, and ugliness of nature. And we've, you know, I think everybody's lost touch, including myself. And
well,
it's a hard thing to get out of this habit that we've put ourselves in. It's not society in general, like as a general term, but these days we used to didn't have to worry about so much, or you didn't have time to worry about so much. And
we're detached from
now,
everything. That,
and people have more time on their hands now than they ever have before. And, that it makes you think, sitting around thinking, you can drive yourself crazy. I know I have. So it's about dealing with your worst thoughts, the most scary things you can think of, getting over that, making peace with that without having to find a coping mechanism. Like, that's a big key. I don't really meditate. It depends what you call meditation. I do self-reflect a lot, but it makes me try to confront my demons. Whereas used to, I would bottle them down, and they would come out later. But it's the hardest thing for us as humans to do, in my opinion, is to be at peace with yourself, who you really are, not who you think you are, who you're projecting into the world, like your real true self, your fallible, vulnerable self. And lots of people cut that off. And then once, if you cut it off for so long and you're not dealing with it, once that comes out, it's going to come out in a bad way. It might not
I
even, I don't know, it's subconscious as hell. We're getting
no,
into
no, no.
a,
We're dealing with that in the online community right now. I think a lot of it is just people being shut up for so long, like being not shut up, but shut in for so long. Like people are starting to go fucking batshit, and
yeah. Well,
you know,
in our society that is the rat race, it's hard to get fulfillment out of life anymore, because the only thing that people really have is their job. And it used to be you had to, there was a lot more on the plate, a lot more at stake, but the rewards felt better because you had to work for them harder. Now you have all your rewards, but you have to go to a job your whole life, and that is your life for the most part. You do have an outside life, but you're talking about 40, 60, sometimes a lot more than that hours a week. And then you come home, you go to sleep, and then you do it again the next day, and then you get a weekend. Sometimes you get a vacation. It's fucked up.
does it
But what do we
remind?
do, right? Can people go back to living, a little more substantially, like, I don't know, gardening your own vegetables,
Does it
bartering
does
with
it
the neighbor.
remind of communist society up until the 1980s? Because that's where I think we're going.
Well, giving up freedoms for safety
And I am not making.
or
I'm not
perceived
saying
safety, but
is a political statement. I'm saying like the way the USSR was run until the late 1980s. I'm not making a political statement. I'm not talking about any representative or anything like that. Please, nobody like hate bomb me or whatever. But like, I'm asking, do you think that we're getting to that point where it it's this indoctrination that you go in and you do your job, like you're a fracking computer chip. That's all you are. You have no individuality. You have no self worth. You go in, you do your job. You're a chip in a fucking computer, and you just go in and do your job, and then you get off and you spend your money that you got from your job, and you go nowhere.
well,
Sorry,
yeah, that's the plight right there. What do you do now? Like it's hard to go back on what we've created since the Industrial Revolution, and you can say even before then, but the Industrial Revolution really ramped it up a billion notches and really fast. Um, we have a lot of people on this planet. We have enough food for everybody on the planet, but millions upon millions upon millions of people have to starve because of money. Um, and could you ask people to go back to a simpler way of life? It would be really hard to go back now. You know, you would almost have to force them through a catastrophe to go back to that. People aren't going to give up. Some people will, but most people aren't going to give up their luxuries. But it
when
does
the
dull you,
ship
you know.
breaks down, like if the ship breaks down, like we're talking like some plague shit. Like we're talking some Stephen King shit. Uh, the Stand. If the ship broke down, what would you miss the most?
What would I miss the most? Just probably can't think of nothing but fuck. I don't know, just peace, and being able to relax and not uh, uh, just be able to relax with my family. Like, but I'm a weird, simple dude. But if I got like, I guess coffee would suck to not have anymore. But you could still have that during an apocalypse. You know. I don't know, man. I'm coming up with boring answers for this one. I'll tell you that much, though.
Would you miss this? Would you miss this? Would you miss like
Oh,
you and I are very good friends, have been for a couple of years
I
now.
thought,
You're in Alabama, I'm in Ohio. Doesn't know the United States. We live like 700 miles away from each other, and we talk and we have conversations. And we have conversations that aren't online. Well, aren't publicly online. Like, would you miss that type of thing?
well, I mean, that's a rhetorical question, I'm sure. But if I want to make the question harder, I would say, because I remember a time when people mingled together and you only had a landline, and I don't know, it seemed like people were around each other and interacting more. I would rather go back to that time. Seems simpler. Um, it's easier to reach out to people this way. I would miss you, John. But I would go for having more social gatherings, which we don't have any of anymore. People would just go hang out at someone's house or hang out in the field with a bonfire. You barely get that anymore unless you're like in high school, and then after that, it's pretty much over. You go drink a 12 pack of beer with your loser buddy while you're standing over a hobo fireplace, which I got one in my backyard, so don't be hating. You know what a hobo fireplace is, don't you, John?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay. Just making sure. Got my stick and bindle ready. But yeah, I think we've missed a sense of interconnectedness. Because now it doesn't matter who you have over, what you're doing, people are on their phones. And I'm guilty of it as well.
Because that, for me at least, that's the thing I would miss is being able to talk to people like you, being able to talk to people like Clarissa, who was here earlier. Just being able to communicate with people all over the fucking world. Lauren was here earlier. She's in fucking Falkirk, Scotland. Brom Haller pops in here. She's in fucking Australia.
Do you know what the wind sounds like over there? Sean
I'm
Connery.
sorry.
Uh-huh. The wind in Scotland has faint shades of Sean Connery laughing. That's what your mother said last night, Trebek. Let it now for 200.
That was one of the greatest SNL skits of all time. I'll take the rapist. It says therapist. I said I'll take the rapist. Like I love inappropriate humor so much. Because I go back to the Voltaire school of things, and it makes us question who we are, and that's what I love about inappropriate humor is the fact that it makes us question who we are.
Yeah, it does.
You watch Lenny Bruce, like watch some old videos of Lenny Bruce, and oh my gosh, he said some shit that you could not get away with back then, but he did. I mean, he got arrested for one of his shows. How badass is that? Like, but that type of comedy I appreciate. Uh, there's certain comedians I don't really care for, who are very confrontational. I don't care for George Carlin. Never have. A lot of people do, and that is your right, and that is your pleasure. Not my thing. Johnny cut out. I'm not.
Sorry, somewhat here.
Oh no, you're fine. I was I wasn't certain if you had like left or so. We're getting to the end of this video. I guess I should get to the big announcement, right?
Sure.
Starting next Friday, Believe is going to be on hold because as much as I love Neil Gaiman, I only have so much time to dedicate. But I am starting a series called Tolkien Talk. And we're going to start this with The Lord of the Rings. And I'm going to break down 2 chapters every week. And I would really love it if people would come in and say what they think, say what they feel, give their ideas. Because, I mean, he is my favorite writer of all time. And I want to see people share it. And I'm hoping to have guests. Like this beautiful man right here.
Speaks. Yeah, maybe. I'm potty mouth bastard, whatever you want to call me. I am
But
what I am. That's who I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man who saves.
I want the dichotomy of people
So,
who are token nerds like I am, and people who've never read the book before, and people in the middle, like read it once, whatever. But that is the big announcement that I'm making. Tolkien Talk starts next Friday. I'm going to go over the introduction and the all the opening stuff that Tolkien did. Now, the way he wrote the books, everything is in 10 chapter sections. So I can take it and break that down 2 chapters a week and actually like dig into it and get into it. But
we can find out if Tom Bombadil has the best wood in all the realm. He probably does.
Dude, you ever check out Goldberry? Yeah, Tom Bombadil has he's rocking the cock.
He's slinging cedar.
Yeah, he's Goldberry's like, oh my gosh, look at that cock.
I am Goldberry. That's why she sings so well.
So that's my big announcement, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm so excited that everybody showed up to hang out for a minute or an hour, or we're at an hour and 35 minutes. Like it means a lot to me. All of you, especially you, Johnny, who actually comes online and talks to me. It means so much to me. Like, all we have in this world right now is this type of communication. And it's I'm getting emotional here. It's a scary fucking place right now. Okay, the world is a scary fucking place right now. But we can all get together and just nerd out or talk about whatever or smoke some weed and watch Cops or whatever you want to do. The world, it and having people who are interested in that means so much. And having a friend as good as you, and oh my gosh, I'm getting so sappy here. Shit, I sound like a fucking Georgia O'Keeffe novel. having a friend like you means so much to me. Somebody who I can talk to about anything, anytime, anywhere.
I agree, buddy. I love you too,
Nutmeg.
John. And you know, I'm an okay friend. You know, everybody could be better. So I'm just glad that you idolize me, and as long as you keep sacrificing them goats, we'll be good, bro. It's going back to the before the fucking live stream even started.
The
See, a
goats of
good story
Karth.
always comes back to the beginning. Remember that.
The goats of Karth. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Those
so
were awful.
before we log this out, a lot of people who are in the chat and uh, follow are Ice and Fire fans. What is your favorite absolute fucking batshit tinfoil theory?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Which
Or
oh,
if anybody in the comments section wants to throw something out there, free.
tinfoil theory for what?
Ice and Fire. Like
Oh,
anything,
ice and fire
anything,
tinfoil theory.
anything. Go wherever the frack you want.
Okay, so I got this thing that I mean, I don't know if this is even tinfoil. Alyssa Farman, aka Alice Westhill, is Quace.
Okay.
Corliss Valerian saw her ship in the port of Ashai. If she made it that far, she could be a Shadowbinder, and like Melisandre. And she would have a lot of access to dragon glass there, right? Isn't there a lot of dragon glass in Ashai?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's possible because she is the original thief of Danny's 3 eggs as well. So it all ties back to even the eggs. I don't know. I got a whole theory on it, but I don't know if anybody's already said this or not.
You gonna publish
Probably.
it?
I'm thinking about it. Should I? I probably should.
I don't know. Do you want to like loudmouth Ginger to uh, you know boot off it because I'd be part of that stream.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a video, but we could talk about some stuff on the stream. That would be fun. I do need to do a stream soon anyway. I've only did one all year, so how about them apples? Um, yeah, like I don't know, thinking about doing some stuff. I don't want to give it away. There's some other ideas
Okay,
I got for Ice and Fire, but gonna hold these tight. I'll tell them to you afterwards or something.
fair enough. Fair enough. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out here. Johnny and Clarissa, who is not here right now but is gone. Thank you so much for guesting with me. I am very excited. Talking Tolkien starts next Friday. And I want to see all y'all motherfuckers there. Because we're going to talk some Tolkien. And I am stoked AF about it.
Yeet.
In the meantime, check out Johnny's channel. Oh my gosh. House of the Conqueror. There's so much amazing content up there. It's unbelievable.
All right.
No, I'm not licking your ass. I'm speaking properly.
Right, proper.
His content's amazing, and you should check it out. So,
Yeah.
all of you, thank you so much for coming out. God bless. Does anybody have one last question? I'll take one last question because this is supposed to be an AMA.
Let me ask what time What's the times you're going to be doing the Lord of the Rings?
6 p.m. Fridays.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Eastern. So it'd be 5 for you. Anyone in England, that would be 11. I'm sorry. Anyone in mainland Europe, it would be midnight or 1. Anyone in Russia isn't even allowed to watch this channel. Anyone in Japan or Australia or New Zealand, it would be 9 in the morning.
They have meth all over the world, John. So who knows when they're awake? Who knows? You got to think about your target audience.
That would be a great channel, like meth heads talking Lord of the Rings.
So, anybody think Bilbo wasn't walking fast enough?
I could just hit start and like sit back and watch. By the way, if anybody is interested, I do want to start a private thing. Not sure how to do it. I'm gonna figure it out. But watching cops and getting fucked up because that is my favorite game ever.
Let's leave them with that thought juice. Let them think about them apples. And the episode club with Mackenzie L. Burns has shown up. Peter Griffin has popped back in the chat as well with those googly eyes. Oh, Peter, take your glasses off for me. I just want to see. What am I talking about? Anime lover Nicole, thank you so much for coming out. I
Yes,
don't know why I'm doing this, but Suntivia Major, yeah. Oh,
Ron
hi.
Holler, the one spanner
Thank
that
you.
rules them all, is here.
Ron Holler throwing them sugars out in chat. There's some lipstick on my phone. I can't seem to wipe it off. Oh,
Amy
Amy
True
True.
is here.
The
Suntivia
truest.
Major. And obviously Clarissa popped into, actually talk to me. Zeta Alpha was here. Everyone who has come out here tonight, I very much appreciate it.
Love y'all.
I hope you can make it for Tolkien Talk, which is going to start next Friday. I'm so stoked about it because I am ready to talk me some J.R.R. Tolkien. And if you have the extra cash and can donate it to a music charity, even one person, even $1, I will wear the Papa Tolkien tweed jacket for every fucking episode. I don't know if that's much of a incentive, but yeah, they're impoverished children who want to make music and can't because they don't have the accessibility to things like that. And yes, I know there are so many other fracked up things going on in our world right now, but this is one that's really important to me. And actually, I'm eventually starting a Patreon, and my Patreon account is all going to go to the Gibson Music Foundation, which gives instruments to kids in impoverished societies. So that's my big PSA. got it out there. I'm not going to harp on it. So, Johnny, do you have anything to say to anybody before we leave?
No, I just want to thank you, man, and thank everybody in the chat. Got my hands full with the dog at the moment. Sorry.
That's okay. Dogs are a handful. That's why I don't own one. I have a turtle. She's just like, she swims around. She's a kraken. I mean, I'm scared of her. I'm literally scared of her. Because someday she's going to break out of her aquarium and, like, eat me. But in the meantime, I do my best to take care of her. So, yeah, thank you everyone for coming by tonight. Johnny, thank you so much for popping in, and it means so much to me. I don't even know how to start describing it. I'm going to go to my coffin here in a minute, because there is rest for the wicked, and I need a little. But in the meantime, please, everybody, PLUR, be excellent to one another and party on.